Here's what you should know about your local housing market in this week's Market Update. Today is the last day of school here in Morristown. Congratulations to all the kids finishing up school today, and especially congratulations to all those who are graduating. There are so many great things to do this summer here in northern New Jersey and the Morris County area. I really hope that you take advantage of that. I love where we live. There's so many great benefits to living in New Jersey. However, one of the challenges that we have here in New Jersey are high taxes. Now, and especially when it comes to buying and selling homes, we already have a realty transfer fee when you are selling your home. It's a tax that the state collects from you as a fee for selling your home. And on top of that, we also have the mansion tax. So for buyers, if you purchase a home above $1 million, you have to pay a 1% tax on the total purchase price of your home. So if you buy a home for $999, no mansion tax. If you buy a home for $1 million, you are now paying an additional $10,000 tax on top of your purchase. Now, the market has really changed over the last few years. Back when that mansion tax was imposed, it really was the upper echelon of home sales in the area. Back in 2018, only 6% of New Jersey home sales were over $1 million. Today, that number has increased to 16%. So you really cannot call a $1 million house, a mansion by any means anymore. Not to say you can't get a nice house for $1 million, but nowhere near what I would consider a mansion. So New Jersey lawmakers, on top of all this, are considering raising that realty transfer fee. So how much? They're looking to raise that realty transfer fee by 1% for homes that are sold over $1 million, and to raise it by 2% for homes sold over $2 million. Now, like I said, that while affordability for that price point for many of us might be quite a little bit out of reach, that's by no means a luxury tax. That's fairly middle market nowadays. So check out in the comments. I'm going to be posting a link here. Our local real estate board is making it very easy for people to reach out and let their state representatives know that this is a bad idea and we really don't want this. Housing affordability has already gotten to be quite a challenge, and to raise fees of selling your home on top of that is just bad policy. On top of that, I've got some notifications this week from some mortgage lenders, typically pretty reputable mortgage lenders, that give me weekly updates, telling us that we are now in a buyer's market. Guess what? They're wrong. Professionals, be professional. Know your stuff before you send it out. But on top of that, be careful about the different news that you're seeing out there. Some parts of the country have shifted to a buyer's market. Not here in northern New Jersey. We are not in a buyer's market. We are still very much a seller's market. Have things quieted down a little bit? Yeah, most of the houses I'm seeing are still going to bidding wars, still selling well above list price. Some of them are selling below list price. Some of them have negotiability, but definitely not a buyer's market. We were in such an extreme seller's market for such a long time that some of us might be conditioned to think that, hey, if houses are sitting on the market for a few weeks, if they're negotiating for below list price, then that means it's a buyer's market. It does not. We can be in a market where a majority of the homes sell below list price and negotiate down below list price, and they could still be in a seller's market if those homes are selling quickly and at fairly close to list price. So be cautious of what people tell you, but we are not in a seller's market. We are not in a buyer's market, and does not appear to be close. We will be keeping a close eye on that, and if that situation does change, we will certainly let you know. But that being said, let's get into the stats for housing stats this past week in Morristown, Chatham, Madison, Harding, Mars Plains, Mendham, Chester, Bernardsville, Basking Ridge, and Randolph. This past week, we saw 63 homes come on the market in these towns. That's a 37% increase over the prior week. We saw the greatest number of new listings in Morristown with 14, and then 11 in Basking Ridge. Houses, 48 of these were single-family houses. 16 of them were condos or townhouses. The average list price of these homes was $1,320,000. Bernardsville had the highest average list price at $1 million, or not $1 million, $3,488,000. Total inventory, we saw a 0% increase over last week. Just one additional home actively on the market. So 275 homes actively on the market in these towns. Basking Ridge has the highest number of active homes on the market at 47, and then Mendham with 43 and Morristown with 41. Homes sold. We saw 40 homes sell this past week in these towns. Morristown and Basking Ridge were tied for the most homes sold at 8 apiece. We saw a 17% decrease in sold homes from the prior week. Average list price of homes sold, $1,234,000. Average sale price was $1,253,000. So this past week, homes sold for an average of 3.9% above list price. We saw 2 towns where homes sold below list price. That was Bernardsville, with homes selling at 6.6 below list price this past week, and Basking Ridge with homes selling 1.1% below list price. But other than that, we saw home sales in these towns range from an average of 1.7% above list price all the way up to Randolph, which had homes sell for an average of 10% above list price. These homes were on the market for an average of 21 days, which was a 12% decrease from the prior week. Under contract, we saw 43 homes go under contract this past week, and that is a 34% increase over the prior week, with an average list price of $1,299,000. So thank you so much for checking in with me. We will be keeping a close eye on this market. I hope you have a great kickoff to your summer break. Have a great weekend. I'll catch you guys again next week.